Good morning all. Today we're going to be doing a very special Christmas edition of the low-cost meal for seniors. Christmas can be a very lonely time for some people, so it's a really good occasion to share with others and show that you care. So what we're going to be doing today is sharing a plate with others and keeping up with the festive Christmas spirit. We're going to be doing small pancakes and they're assorted. So we're having fish, we're having meat, we're having vegetables as well as seafood, and we'll share it together. All right, here we go. So the first thing we do is we're going to be making our batter. You've all got a bowl of flour and a bit of yogurt. So we break up the egg. Keep your big bowl for rubbish. Beat that up. And then add that to the flour, mix it up. And then we add some milk, a little bit at a time, don't add all. So we want a fairly thick batter. And add the milk a little bit at a time and keep whisking until there are no lumps. So it's a smooth batter. Okay, it should just run off your fork. It's better for the batter to be too thick than to be too thin. So these pancakes, the little mini ones, are called blinis. And because we are using self-raising flour, we need to rest the batter. Okay, so if you want to look at it, it should be just like that. Yep, good, yep. It's better for it to be too thick than to be too thin, because it's easier for you to turn it. Okay, so that's nice and smooth. Now if you want to, you can add a pinch of salt or a pinch of sugar. So if you're using a sweet, add a pinch of sugar. If you're using a savory, add a pinch of salt. Yeah. And then we let it rest. Now we can prepare our filling, the topping. So if you've got fruit, you can start chopping it up into a little bowl. If you've got the salami, you can tear it up into small pieces. We're going to be making about 8 little pancakes each. All right, so just make sure you've got enough for 8. I'm going to be using salmon and prawns, so I'll just peel them. If you've got fruit, the mango will need to be cut and chopped. The strawberries will have to be, and you just have to chop them into fairly small pieces. With the prawns, you have to remove the head and the tail and the shells, and then we chop them up. If you're using salami, I would break the salami into smaller pieces. Yes, yeah, that's good. And with the salmon, you can just tear it up into small pieces. So what we're going to be doing is, while the pancakes are cooking, we will keep the topping aside, and then we make the dressing. Because your pancakes are going to be quite small, we need the topping to be into small pieces as well. Okay, if we are done, we can start making our dressing. So you just have to mix up your mayonnaise and your smooth ricotta, or your yogurt and the smooth ricotta. And I'm just going to mix them up into this small dish. You got a little stick, so you can just use that, and then you can use that to spread it on top of your pancake as well. So you got yogurt and smooth ricotta, and either mayonnaise or sugar. So that's the dressing all done for the topping. We leave that aside. You can add salt or sugar depending on what you're cooking with, and I'm going to now switch on my stovetop. You'll have to turn it down. It comes to a 1300, and I'm going to turn it down to 900. You just have to swirl the butter around the pan. You've all got a plate. Keep that for your pancakes. Once the butter is melted, use your spoon and just put a spoonful of the batter into the pan. And with your spoon, just spread out the mixture. And you should, I've got 5 in the pan. And we just let it cook till it gets brown on the top. Good, excellent. You'll see little bubbles forming on the top, and then it'll become brown on the edges. You should get 4 or 5. It's a good sign to have little bubbles on the top. It means it's getting cooked from underneath. Then very carefully, using your spatula, flip it over. So slide it underneath. You could use your fork to help you. Great, so it should be golden yellow like that, and that's perfect. So we let it cook for a few minutes. And then I'm going to very carefully lift them out of the pan onto the plate. And both sides should be nice and golden. Then repeat with the remaining batter. It doesn't matter if they are uneven, they'll be tasty. Now the good thing with this batter is you can put any kind of topping you want. It can be vegetables, roasted vegetables. If you want to put chicken or open a can of tuna, you can use whatever you have. So it's very, very useful. It's also a very useful thing to learn to do for an instant party plate, because it makes quite a bit. I've made 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 10. I think I can get 14 or 15 out of this, which is great. Okay, so I'm just going to use up the leftover batter. You can also leave these pancakes in the fridge or the freezer and take them out and use them. They'll keep for about a week. Okay, so while those are cooking, I'm going to spread. The butter is So just use that. It's coming. So with a little stick, spread a little of the topping on top of it. Okay, those are done. Once they're done, make sure you turn your cooktop off and start spreading your topping. Okay, I'm now going to top them with the prawns. And some with the salmon. And a little bit of garnish on the top to make it look nice. And there you have a really good plate of little party canapes.